recording of the SmallBasic recipe TriangleShell for teachers. So we're going to start off and translate line 1. So read that out in English, please.
Show the tortoise.
Tortoise.show. And again, we're doing this so that we can teach using the intentional method. Some of our recipes have show the tortoise, some of them don't. We still want to have it on this one for intentional reasons. And then we're going to clean up the line. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to translate line 14. So read that in English, please.
Turn the tortoise 1/60th of 360 degrees to the right.
Okay, and the kids are going to put 6 or 16. So this is a very subtle thing, but in order to get this recipe right, they need to translate this 360 divided by 60. So if they're not getting it right, don't tell them the right answer. Just have them read the English over and over and over until they get it right.
Couldn't you just write 6 degrees to the right?
Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to translate the next line that we can see. And this is really subtle. Actually, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to use a variable. Now, this is a little bit different because we're not going to be able to see anything. If you read out line 4, read that.
The length of a side is 1 pixel.
Now for teaching, what you're going to want to do is that you want to show the variable slide, and hopefully if you've done the recipes sequentially, they help seeing variables. We're going to use a fake it till we make it technique here. We're going to actually use 100, and when we run this recipe, you'll see why we're doing that. So we're not using this side variable yet, so there's no use on running it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go down to line 22 and read that out. Line 22.
The tortoise the length of a side.
So tortoise dot move, and now we have the side variable, so we can run it, and we can see it's at a slight angle. So we're going to clean up that line, and now we'll be able to see line 23. I was going to do 23 first, but when you're teaching, you always want to teach in the order so the kids can see. It's just super, super important. So read line 23, please.
Turn the tortoise 1/3 of 360 degrees.
And again, real easy to make math mistakes here, so if you're teaching this, make sure the kids really read and emphasize, and there you can see this light, the turn, that if something is wrong, that they're going to need to look at the original English. So I'll go ahead and clean that up. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to translate line 20. So read that out.
Do the following 3 times.
And again, just as I've said in previous videos, if the kids have forgotten how to translate that, have them do a control space and arrow up and down, and hopefully they'll get to the for loop. Such a core concept. We put it in a lot of recipes. For I equals 1, 2, 3. And again, really important they put their N for. We do it over and over. It takes a while for kids to understand it. And if they're really good, they'll already do the format program here. And then they're going to go ahead and run it. And they should have a little triangle, which is cool. So now we're going to clean this up and clean this up. And now we're going to emphasize the idea of subs. So as I've shown throughout the recipe videos, you want to use this pattern over and over and over, where if you read line 18 out,
Recipe for draw triangle.
Again, the kids should be really knowing by now that this is a sub and this is one single word and it needs an end sub. Sometimes, you know, kids will take a while to learn. They'll put the end sub before the end for. That'll mess up. And again, you can have them format to help see. The really bright kids will be doing this right away. Now again, before they run this, say, what do you expect will happen? And the bright kids are going to say nothing because, of course, you haven't called the sub. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this line. And then we're going to go up to the line where we call this thing, which is line 12, and we're going to say draw triangle. And then we're going to call it, which will give us the result of showing the triangle. That's cool. So we can get rid of line 12. So now what we want to do is we want to translate line 8. So go ahead and read line 8.
Change the color of the line the tortoise draws to a random color.
This should be pretty straightforward. Set pen color, we've seen this before. Colors, dot get random color. Again, if the kids are wanting to use their own special color, that's cool, but the random color looks pretty fun. So if you run it, you'll see that'll make a triangle, but not with random colors. So that's a really good question to ask the kids. Why isn't that working with random colors? So one of the things you want to reinforce here is you've translated the line, but it's not working. So leave the line of English until it's working. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and increase the length of a side by 4 pixels. So in order to do that, we're going to take the side variable, and then we're going to say equals side plus 4. Now for some reason this is a complex concept for kids. So if you run this, you're going to see an interesting result. So let them do that and run it. Now if they can't get it, you want to just say, what is the value of the side right now? And have them look up at line 4, which of course we haven't erased the English because we are faking it up here, at 100. And then you want to say, what do you want down here? You want 100 plus 4. So that'll help them to get to this math of side equals side plus 4. Okay? And now we do have our color running, but our side hasn't really done anything yet. So we want to go ahead and leave that English until we correct this. So we're going to translate line 6. So one of the things that we've seen in a previous recipe, that if you have multiple for loops, you're go ahead and read the line of English, please, line 6.
Do the following 60 times.
So hopefully they will remember that you're going to use a different variable, 1 to 60, and there's the bug where it puts in tortoise. It's a real common bug. And then it's really important that they put their end 4 in the appropriate place here. So if they're picking up the pattern of repeat, that should work, and then have them format so they can see what's going in there. So one of the things that you want to do is you can go ahead and run this, but notice that I've left the English for line 4 because we're faking it. So that's okay. It's an interesting way to teach. So if you run it, it's going to get really big, and it might be too big for the screen. So I'm actually not going to wait on the screencast for it to render 60 times, but it's actually going to get super, super big. I'm doing this purposely because one of the things we're trying to teach is to stay true to the English. So it's actually working 60 times, so we can take that off, and we can take off the repeat. And now we're going to go ahead and set this back to 1. And what we're also going to do is translate this very last line. One of the things you'll notice on the making the speed go is we wait till the end, because if you set the speed to go too fast, then the kids won't see what's going on. So if you read out line 2,
make the tortoise go as fast as possible.
You can see tortoise and set speed, and we're going to set that to 10, and then we'll go ahead and we'll run this. We should have the triangle shell, and there it is. Beautiful. So a couple things about this recipe. We're just going to clean it up while I'm reviewing a couple things. I did a fake it till you make it on the length of a side, so you can actually see the triangle until we did the loop. Because we've got 2 for loops, we have this idea of the J. We brought the colors object in again with the get random color. Probably the most difficult line to translate is line 6. So a teaching tip is to say in English, side is in this case 1. So if you want to increase the length of the side by 4, what is 1, and then you do what to it. So they can actually put 1 plus 4 is the value of the side. It's kind of an interim step if they need to do that. It's really, really important they understand about the incrementing or the changing of variables. Then we're going to take that off, and that's our recipe. We have, again, suggesting that you do a recap and then variation, and I don't believe we have a quiz for this yet, but we will write a quiz. So thanks, hope this helps. For more, go to www.teachingkidsprogramming.org.